If you are worried about prostate enlargement and want to avoid the symptoms of an enlarged prostate, you are definitely going to want to watch this video because I'm going to show you how you can use foods just like medicine to shrink your prostate and improve your symptoms. So I'm going to give you the clinical data on it, and I'm also going to tell you the dose you need to be taking to replicate the effect of medicine. Now, first things first, let's understand what the prostate is and why men have this problem. Now, the prostate is actually a gland. It's a walnut-shaped gland that is located underneath your bladder, surrounding part of your urethra. Now, the urethra is just like a tiny hose that carries urine out of the bladder. So, as the prostate enlarges as we get older, it actually puts more pressure on the urethra. It chokes up your urethra, causing uncomfortable symptoms, those symptoms of an enlarged prostate. Now, when we look at prostate issue most of the time, it's actually due to hormonal problem. Now, it's been found that as most men start crossing through a certain age, like 50, above 50, there is increased expression of this enzyme called 5-alpha reductase. So what does this enzyme do? Well, this enzyme actually takes your testosterone and converts it into another hormone called dihydrotestosterone. Now, dihydrotestosterone is a very potent hormone. It's a very potent form of androgen. Now, as this dihydrotestosterone binds to those receptors of the prostate, the androgen receptors in the prostate, is going to trigger the growth as well as the proliferation of the smooth muscle cells as well as the epithelial cells of the prostate that gradually result in the enlargement of your prostate gland. So all of those pharmaceutical medications you hear about like finasteride are actually designed to inhibit the activity of 5-alpha reductase. And that actually makes a lot of sense because if we can downregulate the activity of 5-alpha reductase, that can actually help us shrink an enlarged prostate. So the nutrient I'm going to talk about in this video is actually lycopene. Lycopene is a very special antioxidant nutrient that is found in certain foods, but it is also available as a dietary supplement. Now, what makes this nutrient very special for the prostate is that it is a natural 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. It can help stop the production of dihydrotestosterone by inhibiting this enzyme 5-alpha reductase. So that can help shrink an enlarged prostate. That can help prevent further growth of the prostate. And not just that, lycopene is also very good in reducing oxidation in your prostate. And that is also very important because the prostate is very vulnerable to oxidation due to its high metabolic activity. So eating lycopene is just like using one stone to kill two birds. Now, where can you get this lycopene? Well, tomatoes is actually one of the greatest sources of lycopene, but you can also find them in other red and pink fruits like an apricot, papaya. You can get them in watermelon as well as grape. But tomatoes actually is the highest source of lycopene. So let's look at the clinical data on this. Now, in a study that was done in 2019, I'm going to put the link of this study in the description below. Now, this study actually involved 127 men with an enlarged prostate with BPH who were taking 500 milligrams of lycopene. Now, in a study like this, we actually look at the symptom score as well as the quality of life of the participants. So what did they find? Well, this study found that 8 weeks of taking 500 milligrams of lycopene, the participant quality of life improved by almost 28%, and their symptom score was reduced by 23%, which is just mind-blowing. Now, after 16 weeks of taking 500 milligrams of lycopene, what did they find? Well, their quality of life was actually improved by 50%. While their symptom score was reduced by 44%. And also, their PSA level was reduced by 25%. So there was 25% reduction in their PSA level as well. Now, aside from this research, I've had a couple of people who have been eating a lot of tomatoes. Their PSA level drops and their prostate size was reduced. Now, in another study, this study was actually a meta-analysis study. This study found that lycopene demonstrated a significant reduction in PSA level, and also there was an inverse relationship between PSA and lycopene, which means that the more lycopene they have in their blood, the lesser their PSA become. So there is inverse association, there is negative correlation. So what did they find in this study was that there was no side effect of taking 500 milligrams of lycopene. The participant of this study did not experience any side effects. So how much lycopene should you be taking? Well, many studies found that taking 8 to 40 milligrams of lycopene actually puts you in a pretty decent range. But if you want to replicate the effect as seen in this clinical trial, you should aim for 500 milligrams of lycopene. Now, this is a higher dose than what you would typically get from food alone. So supplement is essential. But if you prefer a food first approach, then you will have to be consuming a lot of tomatoes-based products. Now, one tip to get enough lycopene from tomatoes is by frying it. Most fresh tomatoes contain the trans form of lycopene, which is less bioavailable. So when you fry your tomatoes, this process actually converts this trans configuration into the cis configuration, which is more bioavailable. So when you eat your tomatoes fried, you are getting more lycopene, your prostate cells is getting more lycopene, and that helps reduce inflammation, shrink your enlarged prostate, and also improve the quality of your life. So if you are getting supplement, you should be aiming for 500 milligrams of lycopene. All right. So lycopene is very important for the prostate, and thanks for watching.